Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to try and solve a puzzle that honestly trips up just about everyone learning English. And it all boils down to a few little words that seem simple, but are anything but.
Yeah, it all starts with tricky little phrases like this one. They seem to break all the rules, they're everywhere in English, and they can make a totally normal conversation feel like you're trying to crack some kind of secret code.
So these little combos, they're called phrasal verbs, and they are, without a doubt, one of the biggest hurdles to really mastering English. I mean, think about it. You've got give and you've got up, but give up means surrender. How does that even happen?
To really get why they're so tough, we're diving into this really fascinating case study. It looked at how 480 Malaysian students tried to tackle these exact phrases.
The researchers, they wanted to get past the obvious stuff like, oh, you just have to memorize them. They wanted to find the hidden reasons students really get stuck. And what they found? Well, it pulls back the curtain on these deep, invisible patterns that affect anyone learning a new language.
Okay, let's get into it. The first major clue this study found is this big difference between two types of phrasal verbs, and understanding the split is absolutely crucial.
So on one hand, you've got your literal phrasal verbs where the meaning is pretty obvious. Sit down literally just means to sit down. Simple enough. But then you have the idiomatic ones, and this is where it gets messy. The meaning is like a special password you just have to know. Give up has absolutely nothing to do with giving or moving upwards.
As you can probably guess, the study tested students on both kinds. And the results? Well, they show a very, very clear pattern. Those idiomatic verbs are where the real trouble starts.
And here it is. This is the proof. Just look at the sheer number of wrong answers for these idiomatic verbs. Come across, nearly 75% of students miss that one. And it's a similar story for bring up and give up. These aren't just small slips, These are huge gaps in understanding.
Just let that sink in. A massive 74.6% of students got the meaning of come across wrong. The study found they would often mix it up with look up, probably because you can associate both with finding information. But the context is completely different. One is on purpose, the other is by pure chance.
But the problem isn't just about memorizing weird new meanings. The study found something much deeper going on, what you might call a language ghost. It's this huge, often invisible role that a learner's first language plays in the mistakes they make.
This right here is a classic mistake the researchers saw over and over again. Now, to a native English speaker, it sounds a little bit off, but it's a totally logical mistake to make. Why? Because learners are basically dragging and dropping the sentence structure from their first language straight into English.
See, in English, for this kind of phrasal verb, the pronoun, the word me, absolutely has to get sandwiched in the middle. You can't say wake up me. But that's a completely random rule. It's not intuitive at all if your native language, like Malay, doesn't have this weird little quirk.
And this one brilliantly shows another one of those language ghosts at work. At first, this seems like a really random error. Why on earth would someone choose throw away? But once you look at the learner's native language, it all clicks into place.
And here's why. In Malay, the word buang can mean to throw away, but it's also used to mean to quit a habit. So, you see, the students are making a perfectly logical translation. They're not guessing randomly. They're applying a rule they already know. The problem is, that direct translation just crashes and burns in English.
Okay, so we've seen how students struggle, and it's because of the language itself and the ghost of their native tongue. But what's the view from the other side of the desk? What do the teachers think about all this?
Oh yeah, the study surveyed teachers, and they get it. They overwhelmingly recognize that getting these phrases right is the key to sounding natural and fluent. I mean, look at this. Nearly all of them either agree or strongly agree. They know how important this is.
So here's the paradox the study found. If they're so important, why are they taught so badly? The research found that textbooks often just throw these long, scary lists at students to memorize, or they give confusing definitions without any real-world examples to help them stick.
So what does our little investigation into the phrasal verb mystery really tell us? We've gathered all the clues, from the student test results all the way to what the teachers are seeing. It's really a perfect storm, isn't it? You've got these meanings that are impossible to guess, you've got interference from the grammar of your own language, and then you've got teaching materials that are often more confusing than they are helpful. It's really no wonder that learners struggle so much with these.
So the big takeaway here isn't just that language is complicated, it's that becoming fluent means understanding the whole system. It's about learning to spot those idiomatic landmines, recognizing the ghost rules from your own language, and starting to see the patterns that textbooks so often miss.
And this whole investigation really leaves us with one last fascinating question. Phrasal verbs show us just how weird and complex language can be. It kind of makes you wonder, what strange, invisible rules do you follow perfectly in your own native language every single day without ever even thinking about it?